Hey everyone, welcome back to Mama Rick channel. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that has subscribed, everyone that keeps coming back to watch. That interaction, the back and forth interaction between me and you is it's a very humbling experience, and I'm very humbled to know that at least the work I try to put in every day is resonating back to someone out there. So thank you guys. So today what we want to figure out is what is the meaning of all this, and how do we figure out where we want our investments to be, or where the cryptocurrency space is going specifically. Because for example, with a company like Tesla, for example, it's a public company, or any other company that goes public, they release their annual reports. You can look at their team, their product, and there's a couple of fundamentals you have to look at. And people like Peter Lynch say that you stick to what you know, stick to the basics, stick to a company that you understand, and then invest in that. So with things like cryptocurrencies, how do we know? Because these are new asset classes. Some of them are private companies building public product. So they have an interest in both the private investors that might want to invest in them, and they also have to appeal to the public, because the true innovation, the people that are going to truly build the products on these infrastructures that are provided by these companies, are going to come from the larger population, which is normally referred to as the retail. So how do you make a balance? How do you look at this and then decipher how to know which companies are the best fitting for where you want to be involved? And in my opinion, the idea of following where the money is going, I think, is very important. Now, that being said, we can't underlook such partnerships. As you can see here, Fetch.AI garners institutional attention with new funding from GDA Group and integration onto Fireblocks infrastructure platform. Now, I'm not going to read this whole article. I think the headline is enough. Now, I didn't want to overlook such things, because I think there's a tendency sometimes to overlook such things. Oh, well, there was an announcement. Oh, there's excitement. And, then we move on to something else. But I think we shouldn't overlook this because of the reasons that we're going to look at today. Now, if we look at this is another article by NASDAQ. Fetch.AI nabs $5 million in institutional investment, Fireblocks to add support for Fed token. So let's look at this. Israeli blockchain security startup Fireblocks announces $30 million round as Bitcoin spikes. Now, this was in 2019. Cybersecurity startup Fireblocks, which develops a blockchain security service, has completed a Series B round of $30 million, taking its total funding to date to $46 million. This round was led by Paradigm, with participation from existing investors Tenaya Capital, Swisscom, Galaxy Digital, Digital Currency Group, Cedar Hill Capital, and Israeli serial entrepreneur Gili Ranan's Cyberstats, which counts Shlomo Kramer and Mickey Baudet among its investors. Coinciding with the completion of this round of fundraising, Fireblocks announced addition of Fred Ehrsam to Fireblocks board of directors. Ehrsam is the co-founder and managing director partner at Paradigm and co-founder of Coinbase. So you see these connections. We're seeing Coinbase here, we're seeing Paradigm in there, one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchanges, that's Coinbase. Fireblocks also expanded its team by hiring Matt Maloney, formerly of Cisco, as the company's SVP of global sales. So you can see this history of Fireblocks, which is extremely interesting. Now let's build onto that for a bit. Let's look at this article here. Crypto infrastructure provider Fireblocks raises $133 million. Now remember, the other one was a Series B funding. This is a Series C funding. Now there's the basic knowledge in funding is there is the seed funding, there is the Series A, Series B, Series C. Now Series C funding is usually given. Basic companies can do a Series C funding if they want to buy a company, or they can do a Series C funding if they see that there's this company that has actually garnered some level of success in what they're doing, so they can put in more money into that company because they're starting to realize that this company has built products and this company has actually showed a certain level of competence and success in what they're doing. So this is very interesting. It cannot be understated. Fireblocks has raised a $133 million Series C funding round led by Kotor, Ribbit, and Stripes. And these are major venture capitalist firms. So the company provides several products that let you store, transfer, and issue digital assets. In particular, Fireblocks provides custody to institutional investors. It currently stores $400 billion in cryptocurrencies. BNY Mellon, that Bank of New York, this is a major institution, and SVB Capital are also participating in today's funding round. Existing investors Paradigm, Galaxy Digital, Swisscom Ventures, Tenaya Capital, and Cyberstats Ventures are also investing once again. Remember, we looked at these companies that participated in Series B funding, and they're coming back in the Series C funding saying that, I think we like where our money is, and we're going to do it again. So overall, Fireblocks has raised $179 million since day one. The company says it has yet to reach a valuation of $1 billion. It isn't a unicorn yet, but not so far from it. So you can see that there's this massive attention around this company. Now, so you ask yourself a question, this company that has, attracted the attention of institutions and banks like Bank of New York and all the other venture capitalist firms that we've looked at. So you have to wonder, why does a company that has garnered so much attention from different venture capitalists, different firms, banks and institutions, because the purpose of this Fireblocks company is to be a custodian of major institutions that maybe care about know your customer or know your transaction, so they don't want to be on the wrong side of the law, and then they want their assets to be properly protected by a company that they can trust. So this company has gone on to use technologies that they refer to, such as the NPC, which is a multi-party computation. So that technology essentially allows them to have very secure wallets that they can govern in a very secure way with privacy and security and the other features like accuracy as well. So it's a company that's very deeply invested within cybersecurity. So you ask yourself the question, why does such a company that probably has a lot on the line go out there, look at the thousands, tens of thousands of cryptocurrencies that exist, and then choose a random altcoin called FET? It's because there's something there. There's some research they did, and they figured that there's this company out there called Fetch.AI that's quite interesting, that's building some actual solutions, and we need to expose it to the institutional investors that are invested in us, because all these people that have chosen, or all these institutions that have chosen to allocate their money to this Fireblocks company, are going to pay attention to the digital currencies or the companies that Fireblocks chooses to involve within their platform. So I think that's very interesting, and it cannot be understated. And we can look at their website here. We can look at a bunch of companies that have actually onboarded and are using the Fireblocks custody solutions, and other product suites that they provide. And when you go to trading and brokerage, you can see B2C2, Parafi, and all these other companies, Galaxy Digital, and so many companies. And then when you go to exchanges and lending, you can see Blockify, you all know Blockify, Celsius Network, one of the biggest lending platforms out there, and so many others here. Salt Lending, Voyager, Hodonot, Nexo. These are some of the biggest lending platforms out there, and they're already using the Fireblocks ecosystem. So it cannot be, I don't know how many times I've said this, but it cannot be understated, the significance of this partnership with Fetch.AI. You can also see banking, there's Revolut, Prime Trust, and others that are also using the solutions that Fireblocks has to offer. So the whole point of this video is that we cannot just look at such a partnership of Fetch.AI with Fireblocks, then after a couple of weeks go by, we say, oh, well, there was that partnership with Fireblocks or GDA Capital Group. Okay, let's look forward to what's coming. No, these are things, these are like, pieces to a puzzle that we have to look at, things that happened in the past. And then we try to draw the connections. We try to show we try to see how they correlate in order to be able to decipher the future and where things are going, because it's through looking at the past that we can see our future. So guys, I just thought to bring this to you today because I think some of these things are more important than they might seem at first, because on the surface, yes, they're important, but we choose not to look deeper into them, and because as humans we tend to forget things. But I think it's very significant if we want to succeed in this, digital currency revolution, to see where the money is flowing, to see where the major institutions are putting their research, and to ultimately be at the top of our game in terms of the knowledge that we have in what's happening around us. Guys, take care. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.